Okay, so for my DIGC330 Digital Asia project, I did a Pokemon Red randomizer Nuzlocke, and the whole assessment involved looking at it in an auto-ethnographic way, which is essentially a research technique that I detail earlier in the Prezi. You'll also notice that I talked about my assumptions, which were that Nuzlocks would be difficult. I had a look at the mechanics of Pokemon, the visual aspects, and genre, and in turn how it sort of brought religion into it. And the purpose of this video is just to talk about my epiphanies regarding the whole process. I assumed the game would be difficult, but it doesn't play any differently than an ordinary Pokemon game, but I did sort of learn that Pokemon was more sophisticated in the knowledge forming process, and that it would be a bit harder for children to pick up and play, which is why I didn't really pick up on that until I looked into it, because I sort of know everything about it already. I'm kind of one of these players that could do it in their sleep, but I'm not that good. So yeah, with mechanics, I had a look at the physical restrictional side of the whole thing, and I found that, you know, because it's a game, it doesn't require any physical play aspects or anything. Oh, that's better. Yeah, it was more of a technical thing that would have really changed the difficulty of the game. And like, again, it played a lot into the strategics of playing Pokemon, and it was just interesting to look at again. There are not many aspects of Pokemon that are visually Asian, apart from some Pokemon that I didn't actually look at, because I was more focused on character sprites and architecture, to be honest. I thought they were more traditionally Asian in a way, like the Tin Tower. It's very temple-ish, and that characteristic of what you would see in a shrine. And like, some of the character sprites were quite obviously of a Japanese or Oriental inspiration, like the black belt karates, or the ninjas, or the kimono girls, even the sages and elders. They kind of look like Buddhist monks in a way, and they probably were inspired by that, which leads into our last category, which was genre, and I thought that was really interesting to explore, because as I played the game itself in the Nuzlocke format, Nurse Joy really transformed for me. She sort of took on this necromancer role, because I was healing my Pokemon and one of them had died, and it came back to light, and then it came back to life, and then it fueled this thought, well, hang on, Pokemon can't actually die, so that makes her effectively a necromancer in this case. And then that sort of led into thoughts about Japanese religions like Buddhism and Shintoism, and then it also brought in yokai, which are the Japanese folklore of spirits and all sorts of other things. Very complicated. But yeah, there's a lot of Buddhism elements in Pokemon. The eightfold pathway that Buddha established to help regular folks reach nirvana, a lot of them are echoed throughout Pokemon. Like we've got right understanding and viewpoint, right values and attitude, right speech, right action, right work, right effort, right mindfulness. They're 7 of the aspects that are throughout Pokemon. They're not quite obvious. They're more established in the universe. They're things that are unsaid. For example, right action, help others, live honestly, don't harm living things, take care of the environment. They're just things that are inherent in the Pokemon universe that are just there. The last one is right meditation, and that's something I don't think are in the games themselves, but in a source I looked at, it argued that meditation can take the form of anything as long as it focuses you mentally or physically, and I would think the act of playing the game itself would act as a kind of meditation, because you really have to think about what you're doing before you do it. So I feel like that focuses in enough. And then you've got Shintoism. It was a little bit less obvious as to everything that was in there for me, because like it's an ancient religion whose followers believe that spiritual powers exist in the natural world, and that these spiritual powers are kami, or gods. And there are some Pokemon that do fit that description, but I don't feel like all of them do, in a way. Like some are more obvious than others again, like the new Solgaleo or Lunala. They're the emissaries of the Sun and Moon, and I'm not sure who the Moon Kami is, but the Sun Kami is Amaterasu. I think I said that right. And she's the goddess of the sun, and I think she's also seen as the Empress. I'm not sure about that, I could find out. I think yokai fall more in line with what Pokemon actually are. Like there are a lot of yokai influenced Pokemon in the game, like I talked about the Nurari-Hyun and the Onamazu. So like Whiscash is the Onamazu, and the Nurari-Hyun is Jellicent, who I love. But yeah, overall I just think Pokemon is a lot deeper than it initially appears to be, and I feel like if you look at it in an analytical auto-ethnographic way, you kind of do unravel some of the mysteries around it, and it does teach you what is hidden there. And it has positive messages really all around, even good, just good ways to live your life as well. Like it can teach so much. I think it's quite an educative game, even though it's not quite as obvious. But once you notice it and you see it, it's really quite something. Thank you for listening to, I don't want to say ramble, but kind of was a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad I did this, and I hope you learned something from this. Thank you, bye!